All right. I'm here. I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, just for the record, on weekdays, I want everybody to know, on weekdays, I will go live no later than 12:15 Eastern Time. 12:15 Eastern Time. I tried to get it in a lot earlier than that, but look forward to a live stream Monday through Friday, no later than 12:15. But sometimes I get lucky. I'll go to bed early, so I'll wake up early and I can get it in around 10:30ish, 11 o'clock. But between that time, I'd say between 10:30 and 12:15, most definitely I will be live. And today, I would like to focus on this podcast that surfaced a few hours ago. Okay, let me see when this this article, surfaced a few hours ago. And it's on Vox.com. I've shared audio and interviews. I guess this is a radio station. They got a podcast or whatever. And on this podcast, they interviewed this woman named Bronwen Dickey. Bronwen Dickey. She is the author of a book titled Pit Bull, The Battle Over an American Icon. Pit Bull, The Battle Over an American Icon. Now let me see if I can pull that book up actually. I want to show y'all something. Here it is right here. So this Vox media outlet reached out to the author of this book, Pit Bull, The Battle Over an American Icon. So as you can see, and as always, they reach out to nutters because the hosts of these radio shows are nutters themselves. An anti-dog radio host is not going to reach out to no nutter to get no input about no dogs. So that's one thing people need to know up front. You cannot listen to these people. You cannot listen to these people talking about dogs ever. If you hear somebody on the radio, if you see somebody in the news or whatever talking about dogs, turn the channel, listen to something else. Voluntarily listen to something else. They're going to put out nothing but misinformation. So this is directed toward the author of this book, more than the host. Now I want y'all to check out some of the things that this lady said on this radio station. Okay? Now let's listen, and I'm going to give my input on it. And I suspect she's lying. She's doing a lot of lying in this podcast.
By dog associations such as the Kennel Club at the moment. So are we waiting for an exact definition of this breed?
Yeah, exactly.
Wait a minute. That's not the question I want. And boy, they are babbling.
That it's a
dog, and I know very little about dogs, but when was it created? Was it created? How does this work?
No, that's a dumb question.
And working class estate.
As the biotics shop before.
Wait a minute.
100% how the bank bailout law.
Biological mutants.
Here and that is. Y'all hear that? Listen to this.
That something was genetically wrong with them. Look, I'm the author of Pit Bull, The Battle Over an American Icon.
A few years into Bronwen's career, she was on a journalism assignment and she met a pit bull, and she was scared of the pit bull, and then she wondered, why was she so scared?
I had heard that the only reason anyone would have a pit bull is if they...
She wondered why she was so scared? It sounds like she was an airhead. How are you possibly an adult and you don't even know a bully breed when you're looking at one? Okay, that was weird. She saw a pit bull, but they worded it. They said she met a pit bull, so they humanize it right away. And she was scared, and she didn't know why she was scared. How goofy is that? Okay, well, let's continue. Wow, that was just weird.
A few years into Bronwen's career, she was on a journalism assignment and she met a pit bull, and she was scared of the pit bull. And then she wondered, why was she so scared?
Oh, you dingbat. That's why you were wondering. You being scared was perfectly normal. You not knowing why you were scared, okay, let's continue.
I had heard that the only reason anyone would have a pit bull is if they were interested in dog fighting, that all pit bulls were fighting dogs, that something was genetically wrong with them, and that they might seem nice 1 minute, but then something would happen and they would snap and they would attack you.
Okay. She's saying that this is what she heard about pit bulls. And, or let's say bully breeds. And ma'am, that's exactly right. What you just said is accurate. That's not a myth. Okay? So don't mess this up. But you can already feel it. She's about to say, but I found out that that was all a myth because this one single pit bull never attacked me within what? The 30 minutes, 40 minutes that you were around it? You spent a couple minutes, 10 minutes around a dog, a bully breed, it didn't attack you. Suddenly, all of a sudden, everything that you've heard about them is a myth. Is that where you're going with this? Let's listen.
That they were kind of biological mutants, and
Yes,
that they were
they
only
are. They are. Man, that's a fact. Dogs themselves are mutants, but bully breeds have been more mutated. That's a fact.
And they would snap and they would attack you, that they were kind of biological mutants, and that they were only acquired as weapons by violent people.
Now wait a minute. She is lying. I suspect she's lying. That's not what you heard about these dogs. You're just throwing out all the stereotypes. That's what you're doing. Because I seek out people who are against dogs all the time. And every time I run into an opponent of bully breed, some of you on Twitter follow Pets Killed by Pits on Twitter, right? That's an opponent. He is a dog lover. But he is dead set against pit bulls. So what are you talking about? Where are these people saying these things? They're lying. Okay, so just for the record, opponents of pit bulls don't sit around saying the things that she claims that we sit around saying. Now, of course, I'm an opponent of pit bulls and all other dogs, but I understand and co-sign the arguments against bully breeds. So that was another weird, deceptive, dishonest, in my opinion, lie to me.
And they would snap and they would attack you, that they were kind of biological mutants, and that they were only acquired as weapons by violent people.
You didn't hear that
and
nowhere.
I very much took it to heart. I had no experience with the dogs otherwise, so I didn't know enough to know that that wasn't true. And so the more I looked into it, the more I realized that the science around why people feared these dogs was really terrible. There really was no science. It was all...
What? What did you research that encouraged you to reach that conclusion? Notice how she doesn't even share that. That's what we need to know, ma'am. You ran into some information that proved that these things were harmless and misunderstood. What information exactly was that? Were you looking at the hospital reports? Were you looking at the medical record? You couldn't have been. Were you looking at the statistics? You couldn't have been. So you was looking at something other than statistics, other than doctor reports, hospital records. So what were you looking at? You was looking at dodo videos. Can I get an amen? You was looking at dodo videos. And that's where you got this salute. Oh, there's no science. Look at this dodo video. Lord. Okay?
Enough to know that that wasn't true. And so the more I looked into it, the more I realized that the science around why people feared these dogs was really terrible. There really was no science. It was all kind of folklore and myth and media sensationalism. And
y'all see that weak, pathetic, brainless, nutter tactic she just did? She just pulled right there. Let's back that up. Be careful with these people. They're very deceptive and dishonest.
Enough to know that that wasn't true. And so the more I looked into it, the more I realized that the science around why people feared these dogs was really terrible. There really was no science. It was all kind of folklore.
Statistics are not folklore. You know, actually seeing somebody's face hanging off the skull is not folklore. So there you go.
And myth and...
What myth you talking about? Notice how none of us, it's not just her, none of the pit bull advocates, they all do the same thing. They're vague and they never get into specifics. That's when you know you're dealing with a liar and a con artist.
Media sensationalism.
Ain't no media sensationalism. Exactly what are you talking about? Again, they never get into specifics. Y'all remember... Not long ago, a journalist directly challenged a pit bull, a bully breed, XL bully advocate when she tried to pull that. She's like, what are you talking about, sensationalism, ma'am? Notice that journalist challenged her on that to her face because she knew it was nonsense, because there is no media sensationalism. From what I've always seen, the media, all they do is report on the attack. And to be honest, it seems like the media tries to put these attacks as lightly as possible to the public. So stop that. It's just more lies from these bully breed advocates. There is no sensationalism.
And that kind of gave me a window to talk about a lot of other different subjects.
No, you were just a pit nutter who decided to make money off the pit nutter con. You know, dip your hand into the pit nutter sector to see if you could be successful in that sector. And you were. That's all it is. Don't tell me that you discovered the truth. Because the more you dig into detailed statistics about bully breeds, the more you see how much they do carry an increased risk. So get out of here.
Using the pit bull as a lens.
What is a pit bull? Our guest earlier in the show, Tom McTague, was telling us that an American Bully XL is kind of a mashup of some things, but he said even in Britain, they're having trouble pinning down what this dog is. Mm-hmm. Is it a breed? Is it a subbreed? Is it something different? What is a pit bull broadly?
When we say pit bull, we are talking about a shape of dog. We are not talking about a specific breed of dog. It's a lot like the word hound can mean a lot of different dogs. Or as I always say, it's like saying sedan. You know, a Civic is a sedan, but not all sedans are Civics. So within that category of pit bull, which is vaguely a dog that has some kind of lineage connected to bulldogs and terriers,
connected to bulldogs and terriers,
you have 4 pure breeds.
Now, that threw me off. Now, maybe I just don't know enough about dogs and their breeds, and I admit that I don't. That's not my specialty. But I thought that these dogs that she's about to name, these are not pure breeds, because pit bulls are a combination of bulldogs and terriers. So there are no pure breed pit bulls or bully breeds, right? Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know about that.
The American Pit Bull Terrier, the American Staffordshire Terrier.
Because notice how they're all named Bull Terrier. Bull Terrier's in their name somewhere. Staffordshire Shire, Bull Terrier, Bull Terrier, Bull Terrier. That means these all are mutts. There ain't no pure breed pit bulls, man. They're all rat, mutt, turd organisms. Let's continue.
That has some kind of lineage connected to bulldogs and terriers. You have 4 pure breeds: the American Pit Bull Terrier, the American Staffordshire Terrier, the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and the relatively new or newer American Bully. There are many
People, that's the misinformation I'm talking about. Okay? And I'm not just putting out my opinion. I'm basing this on hospital records, attack records, and reports, okay? Anytime you hear people do that, please try your best to correct them. Like if you're in person with them, please try to correct them. Because this is horrible, horrible misinformation, ma'am. Now, what you see on the screen is a true list of the bully breeds. Bully breeds. Okay, people, understand. The bully breed is the problem. When people say pit bull, this is what you should consider pit bulls. It's the bully breed. Because you notice many of the bully breeds that she didn't name are more dangerous than the one she named. So you're talking about the dogs that carry an increased risk. Oh, and here's Great Dane right here. I'm sorry. I didn't see it the other day. Y'all remember I shared this the other day, and I pointed out how Great Danes also are bully breeds. Here it is right here. Okay? It's a lot of dogs are included in this, people. And especially I want the young people to understand this fully. These are the bully breeds. So, yeah, you stand corrected, ma'am. Stop putting out misinformation.
many mixes of these dogs and crosses of these dogs.
Now, that's true. Thank you.
And so we're really kind of talking about a very vague shape when we say pit bull. Pit bull shaped is probably more accurate.
Okay, and look, they're all the same. And y'all know them when y'all see them. That's why you're always surrounding yourself with them. This is her. And you see, she's surrounded by bully breeds. You know what bully breeds are. Okay, so I'm just saying, just for the record, you know what they look like. You don't have no problem identifying them. Here's your book. And you knew exactly what type of dog to put on your book. Okay, so look, just putting that out there.
Okay, fair enough. Are pit bull shaped dogs born inherently violent, born ready to fight,
born inherently violent? Yes, all dogs are. Born ready to fight? Yes, all dogs are. But there is an increased risk with bully breeds.
Stronger than other dogs?
Then she asked, are they stronger than other dogs? Listen to the answer.
I mean, well, it depends on what you mean, and it depends on which dogs you're talking about. The group has gotten so diverse at this point. There are so many breeders. There are so many mixes. There are so many accents.
No, stop. I'm going to stop you right there. No, ma'am, no. I know. Okay, fine. I'll let you finish. I will let you finish. I'm going to let her finish. Okay.
Mixes of these dogs and crosses of these dogs. And so we're really kind of talking about a very vague shape when we say
Wait a minute. Whoa.
The American Pit Bull Terrier, the American mixes of these dogs and crosses of these dogs.
Born ready to fight,
okay,
born stronger than other dogs?
Sorry about
really
that.
Kind of talking about a very vague shape when we say pit bull. Pit bull shaped is probably more accurate.
Okay, fair enough. Are pit bull shaped dogs born inherently violent, born ready to fight, born stronger than other dogs?
Now, they are born ready to fight more so than other dogs. They are stronger than other dogs, their size. Now, I'm going to say that. I'm going to go on record and say that. She should have said flat out, yes. They're quicker to fight. That's what they were bred for. And most definitely they're stronger no matter which breed you're talking about. Because no matter what breed you're talking about, the only thing you can do is compare it to a non-bully breed of equal size. And anytime you do that, the bully breed is going to have more muscle and is going to be stronger. Okay? A bully breed the same size as a Labrador Retriever, for example, will be stronger than that Labrador Retriever. Because quite often, smaller bully breeds are stronger than bigger labs and other non-bully breeds. So, wow, she just, in my opinion, that was just a flat out lie.
I mean, well, it depends on what you mean, and it depends on which dogs you're talking about. The group has gotten so diverse at this point. There are so many breeders. There are so many mixes.
So many mutants.
There are so many accidental litters that it's almost as specific as saying, what are Americans like? Or what are Britons like? Or what are people from North Carolina like?
No, it's not that vague. No, that's a lie. These are all bully breeds. They all are of the fighting gene, and they're all dogs. That means their brains, all of them, are shaped the certain way, the opposite of ours. So don't try that.
Yes, within that large, diverse group, you may have people who have neurological or, biological problems or disorders.
No. See, now she's pushing this idea that the dogs that attack, there's something technically wrong with them. They're not wired properly. It blacked out. Because of the abuse of 30 years ago. Stop it. Stop with that. These are killers doing what they were bred to do.
You may have people who are living in stress and trauma, but the group itself is so large, you really can't make any pronouncements about. If you go back to the breed's history or the original breed's history, yes, absolutely. There were very well-known fighting lines of these dogs, but there are also many dogs that never saw a dog pit.
It doesn't matter if many of them never saw a dog pit. That's totally irrelevant. It does not matter if any of these bully breeds never saw a pit. See, all she's saying is that during the time when they bred these things into existence, they were fighting, and they were bred for fighting, designed for fighting. And she said since then there have been subsequent mutants produced, like some of these that you see, and that those never touched a fighting cage. But guess what? They all got a lengthy record of attacking people. No different from the ones that was actually used in the bull pit. So stop it. They all carry an increased risk. They all contribute to the disproportionate attacks on people. Okay, understand that fully, man. These dogs are a huge, huge problem when we're talking about dog attack. Now understand, when you hear about dog attack statistics, when we hear or when we see these statistics, many of these bully breeds are not included in the category that says pit bull. So when you see it and it says pit bull responsible for about 65% of fatalities, if you looking at bully breeds, it's probably much higher than that, because the bully breed covers so many types of dogs, as you see. And like I said, many people will look at many of these dogs and say, that's not a bully breed. Like I said, you got the Great Dane here, and don't forget, you also got the boxer. So when you hear about dog attacks and the dog is a boxer, that was a bully breed. And I've seen these boxers attack. They all use that clamp down, hold, and shake style of attack. Okay?
And so to kind of define the dogs by the people who abused them, I think is unfortunate. I mean, it's very much true that history was there, but it was...
Abused them? What is she talking about? Listen, these people who have these dog fighting, or let's say those people back in the day who were using these dogs to attack bulls and horses and other large animals. What you're calling abuse is them simply releasing the dog. It didn't have to do much. As soon as the pit bulls saw those animals, they wanted to attack, just like they do today. You walk in your worthless pit, it sees an animal, a rabbit, something somewhere, maybe a little kid, toddler, and it immediately tries to attack them. You can't say that you're abusing it just because it tried to. That has nothing to do with abuse. All these people do is bring these dogs out and release them. The dog does all the rest. They're not forcing these dogs to attack and kill other animals. What are you talking about? Okay, so stop with this abuse nonsense. It doesn't even make sense.
Was also true for a lot of dogs that don't get drawn into this. So the boxer, the Shar-Pei, the Boston Terrier, the English Bull Terrier, those all had histories of fighting. And yet we don't get as worked up about them because we don't have the kind of cultural firestorm around the types of people who...
Stop. We know the truth. Ain't nobody in the dark. And you're the one in the dark putting out misinformation. We know what the deal is. Stop it.
Own those dogs and what that all means.
See, the days of projecting the general public as ignorant is over, man. Y'all have gotten away with that for too long. We know what the deal is.
What is the history of bad or problem dogs?
The first dogs to be kind of...
Now, this is such a disservice. It's such a disservice. The way she answered that question about how much of an increased risk do bully breeds carry. She never reflected on the disproportionate statistics. Never reflected on how much more dangerous the attack themselves are when it comes to bully breeds. And of course, that's what you would expect from a bully breed advocate, pit bull advocate. But understand that's what they do. They put out lies and misinformation. Their goal is to sell you something. And we all know salespeople are liars. They have to be liars. Okay? Right now, what we're looking at is this sort of campaign or pro-dog crusade on their part in response to all of these horrible attacks. Okay? And they're trying to do damage control. And what they're doing is actually inflicting more damage onto themselves. Onto themselves. Yeah. And oh yeah, this podcast is horrible. They get into a lot. Here, let me share this. I want y'all to check that out when you get a chance. I'll probably respond to more portions of this interview this weekend or something. But I'm going to have to move along. Just understand, man, these people are out here putting out so many dangerous lies. So many dangerous lies that are so obviously misinformed. And the thing is, this is the internet era. A lot of people are going to do the research after they listen to people like this and realize they don't know what they're talking about. It's bad to have people bringing their attention to dog lovers and dog attacks. You don't want people to look into this because the truth is easy to find. And this media outlet actually did a story, a full story on her in 2016. Back in 2016. So she's been milking the pit bull industry for a while. And once again, you see an example of when they want input on pit bulls, they go out and get the biggest liars. They go out and get the people putting out the lies, putting out the propaganda. That's why it's important for, us to put out the truth. Even though it's, on our own platform, we may not get as many views, but over time we will, because the truth is picking up. And right now, there are more and more people who are becoming anti-dog. There are a lot of people who had not made their minds up yet. Maybe they were not dog people at all. And a lot of people are being turned off to not only dogs, but the bully breeds. Right now, bully breeds are getting bad press. Anytime they start talking about banning a certain type of dog anywhere, that's going to blow up because the Nutter's going to make a huge deal out of it. But I think it's going to ultimately backfire this time because there's a lot of people who know better, who know the truth out here. Now, this is a story surfaced a few hours ago. Dog attack victim may lose her right kidney. Girl who was attacked by a black dog on Monday, like that was in China, may lose her right kidney. How and what in the world? And stuff like that, it's easy for stuff like that to happen. Dogs, have y'all seen that video? I shared it for those who may not have seen it. I shared it in the community section of the Ian Price attack. Look at how worthless those men were, how useless they were, ineffective. You saw that one guy, he was trying to roll a trash can against the dogs. And he was moving about, 2-3 miles per hour. Horrible, horrible stuff. Okay, viewer discretion advised. Anybody. I shared it in the community section. Viewer discretion advised. It is a graphic video. How y'all doing today? What is going on with everybody? So this guy got 35 years in prison. Round of applause for that. Okay. I think he should have gotten life. Okay. But he's already old. What is he? In his 50s, maybe? How old is he? Ray Lee, look at him. Sitting up there. This was the guy whose dogs were so plentiful that the police officer refused to go on his property. Cop said there was about 10 dogs that seemed to have surrounded him. And this dumb dogs, several calls were made reporting this man and his dogs terrorizing the community. We can't let people get away with that. If y'all calling the police and you calling animal control on some lunatic endangering people on a daily basis, and they don't answer, they don't respond, they don't come out and fix the problem, it's your constitutional right here in the United States to keep the community safe yourself. And to be honest, their refusal to come out there and do it is their way of telling you to handle it yourself. I'm dead serious. That's what's going on here, people. When it comes to dogs, for the most part, animal control and police, they expect you to handle that yourself. Go talk to your neighbor yourself, right? Holler at them yourself. Do something, but don't call us for no dog. That's their attitude. So we need to always be in a state of mind to take control of the situation. Okay, so good for you, guy. Wait a minute. He was sentenced to 35 years for injury to a child, also included a $7,000 fine. He was sentenced to 10 years and fined $3,000 for the dog attack charge. Okay. He will serve the 2 prison terms concurrently. Right? Good. Dog attacked a 9-year-old boy. Shame on you. And this shit happened to all of the owners of dogs. that just launch these crazy, unprovoked attacks. Now, this surfaced an hour ago. A school forced to evacuate after a XL bully dog attacks its owner and then escapes from its home. Now, wait a minute. This dumb mutt attacked its owner and wasn't satisfied with that. It then escaped and ran up in a school? Wow. Woman mauled by her pet at home before it escaped from the back garden. Cops was called. A woman was being attacked by a dog screaming for help. There you go. Cooped up in the house with your dog. You was probably sitting around taking selfies with it to upload to Instagram, upload to Facebook. Oh, you was probably on social media making a YouTube video. See, they're misunderstood. My dog would never attack me. He so never would attack me. She's probably in the middle of taking a selfie. That mutt clamped down on her face. You know all you're going to do is scream and beg for help if it attacks you. So why don't you just stop being a nutter? Get rid of it and don't ever do nothing that dumb again. Lord, doesn't it hit you how ignorant and dumb and irresponsible it is to be cooped up with these things when you hear attacks like this? This should motivate everybody. You know there's nothing you can do once this thing attacks you. You little small petite woman all by yourself. Upon arriving, they found a woman in her 60s. A woman in her 60s cooped up with an XL bully. That's just dumb. That's low IQ, man. Okay? And I'm saying that because nobody wants to be seen as a dumb person or as a low IQ person. So we won't know that you're dumb or have a low IQ if you're not putting up the flag. You being a nutter and owning these things, you're putting up the flag. Like, hey, I got a low IQ. Lord. Police officers were called upon arriving woman in her 60s and the dog's owner being mauled by her own dog, which managed to escape from the property after the attack. She received multiple injuries, taken to the hospital, non-life-threatening, found by a member of the public who secured it. Lord, had to evacuate a school for one dog. One dog. See the type of crazy, irresponsible game we're playing here? This is scary because young people, they see these videos too. So some of them are sitting at home realizing that if these things, they can attack at any time for no reason, and they're realizing that their parents can't protect them. That if the dog attacks, their parents are going to need help themselves. When these things flip out and attack, usually nothing stops them but a bullet. It's always a cop who shows up and finally deletes the thing. It usually is. Now, sometimes they'll fight them off. But young people are, there are a lot of young people listening to these videos, running across dogsbite.org or just dog attacks on the YouTube, reading about it, and they're like, oh boy, my parents are forcing me to play this dangerous, dumb game as well, putting my life on the line as well, and they can't do nothing about it. They can't move out. That's true terrorism. What if they want to leave? They're like, oh man, I thought Rover would never attack me, but now I'm seeing that many dogs attack their owners even if they've raised the dog from a puppy. So the young people are like, oh no, I don't want to be a dog. And they don't have no choice but to continue to live in that house and be terrorized. Unreal. This is unreal stuff. Where was this at? Norfolk? Yeah, Norfolk and Norwich University. Is that Virginia? Okay. Crazy stuff. Man, there's so many crazy stories. Raymondville police investigating dog attack on a 2-year-old girl. What? This surfaced yesterday. Where's Raymondville? Let's find out where Raymondville is, Texas. Raymondville, Texas. 2-year-old girl in second, detective said, called to a house. She was bitten on the head and upper lip. And kids that young are usually bitten from the neck up, in the neck up. Said the little girl lost a lot of blood. A 2-year-old losing a lot of blood. You can't even picture that. Trust me, you don't want to see a scene like that. She was transported to the hospital, last reported. Okay, let's hope the 2-year-old is okay. And let's hope their parents don't surround them by dogs again. Because this sounds like it was a family dog. You inside a home and it's a 2-year-old, so-called family dog. There you go, dog lovers. Your beloved pooch once again demonstrating that it can and will attack at any moment. And it's going to usually, over 50% of the time, go for the most vulnerable target. You don't attack a 2-year-old. Who does that? Who starts stabbing a 2-year-old repeatedly? These creatures are so inhumane. That's why you should dislike them, because of how inhumane they are. How you gonna try to tell me that I'm inhumane for disliking creatures because of how inhumane they are? Right? Just marinate on that next time y'all want to try to criticize me for using the word hate. Yes, I hate these things, and you should hate them. My man right here, I feel very sorry for. I was trying to wait for more information, and the plan was to do a short video on it on the old channel, on my original channel. I wanted to get a media report, but apparently this is all they're going to share. But this man was walking, and they say he has over 130 bites. Yeah, and obviously lucky to be alive. 30-year-old Devada Gray, not sure how to pronounce that. He was walking in the neighborhood when the dogs seemingly came out of nowhere. He said there were about 10 dogs of different breeds. Attacked him unprovoked. Now, this is a 30-year-old. So this was disappointing for me to hear, because I think if you're 30 years old, especially you grew up in today's era, you know, dog attacks are a lot worse now than they were when I was coming up. I would expect anybody who's walking, especially, where was this at? Louisiana? I've heard of the dog packs they got down there. Stay armed, people, stay armed. Stop with this. And if you're brainwashed, if you're under the dog spell, you're not going to be armed. You're going to think that you're able to just swat the dogs away. Just like they did in that video that surfaced not long ago. I actually think I still got it. I do. I still got it. They think they can just go and start swatting them. Y'all remember this video I shared? Now, you can see the text on the video. This is what you do when you're not a crusader. You see 3 pit bulls running around the neighborhood and you say, I'm going to go out and round them up. And you go out there with no gun. You go out there with no knife. Just your flip-flops, your house shoes, and your gown. Your PJs. Oh, come here, you misunderstood. Misunderstood pooch. Whoa, watch me demonstrate how misunderstood they are. I'm going to walk right up to them. 3 pit bulls, I don't care. Love will work. Watch love. Love will overcome the dogs. Misunderstood. So these women walk out there and they start getting munched on. Now, at first, the dogs were doing as they always do, begging for food. And y'all remember the exact same thing happened to that old man. At first, they were jumping up at that man, and what they were doing, they were begging for food. And they were doing the same thing with her at first. And as soon as they realized that she was not going to magically pull out any food, they made her their food. Decided to attack her. And it was more than one that was attacked. See, and notice all they're doing is trying to swat at the dogs. They walked out there, didn't even bring an umbrella. And these are old women who are out of shape. They walk very slow. Went out there unarmed. That's what you do when you're not an anti-dog person. You're living in a delusional existence. You're not operating based on reality. You're in some type of false matrix. In order to see the world, the dog world, properly, you got to be a crusader. You got to be anti-dog. See, if we would have walked out there, we would have been armed. We'd have been armed. And we would have left with no injuries. You're being taken to the hospital. This was pathetic. 3 women. I mean, can you imagine? Guys, fellas, can you imagine getting a call from your wife? You at work, your wife call you. Honey, there are 3 pit bulls right outside. What? 3 pit bulls? Yeah. 3 pit bulls. I don't know where they came from. Well, okay. Call animal control and call the police. Call them right now. No. I'm going to go out and round them up. What? Yeah. I'm going to go out there with no weapon, just my house shoes and my nightgown. And 2 of my sisters going to come with me. No. Fellas, you'd have to leave work. You have to take a half a point. But, gotta go. My wife done lost her mind. What are y'all thinking? Going out there with fly swatters. You should be ashamed of yourselves, man. Young people, please do not be a dog lover. This is the worst group to belong to. Let's be honest. This is the worst social demographic to belong to. You need to join us. Don't be silly. Don't make yourself look silly.
Not being delivered. A KCK resident says it's been a problem for about a month. She reached out to KBC 9 Investigates for help. Investigative reporter Matt Fleener is getting answers on this one.
Here in this neighborhood near 635 and Parallel, a woman says she's struggling to get her mail. Mary Boyd says the only way to get mail is to go to the post office to pick it up. She's 87 years old and says that creates a hardship. She says she was told by the post office dogs in her neighborhood prevent mail delivery, but she doesn't know any dogs like that. She asked when mail would be restarted, but is still waiting for a date.
I said, well, I'm going to see if I can get something done because this doesn't make sense. Cause I don't feel like going, and it's going to get 1 or 2. I don't feel like going on to try to pick up no mail every other day.
The USPS said in a statement Monday.
Oh, Lord. Where is this at? Kansas City, Missouri. Can somebody please help Mary Boyd out, please? It's an 87-year-old woman. They stopped because of some nutter. Please, if you get the time, please go get the lady's mail. Please go get the lady's mail. Some nutter dirtbag and their dog has caused the post office to not deliver there anymore. This is pathetic. A true community being terrorized. This is a terrorized community.
I said, well, I'm going to see if I can get something done because this doesn't make sense. Cause I don't feel like going, and this thing get 1 or 2, I don't feel like going on to try to pick up no mail every other day.
The USPS said in a...
Go around the neighborhood, please. Go around the neighborhood. See, if this happens in your neighborhood, go around and help out the non-dog owners, like the elderly. You can see some old people who don't even own dogs. They just can't get their mail. Please go get the people's mail. Go get the people's mail. They won't have to. The only people gonna suffer and have to go to the post office should be the nutters themselves. It should be, and y'all should like provide services. You know what you should actually do. You should actually work with the people who don't own dogs in getting their mail and only punish the dog owners.
Statement Monday, loose aggressive dogs are still in the neighborhood and they've contacted animal control. We have too, and we're still working on a solution for Miss Boyd. If mail's not getting delivered to your home like you think it should, send us a note to investigates@KNBC.com. We'll look into the case. Matt Fleener, KNBC 9 News.
Yeah. Listen, man. If there were ever crusaders, we would have a network, man. Hey, that happened. We're going to have somebody, hey, we'll go get your mail. That's what we need. We need community service like that. That way, only the nutters are punished. Let them suffer by themselves. Doggone shame. That surfaced a few hours ago, I do believe. Yesterday. That surfaced yesterday. You got 3 lamb and a sheep attacked by a worthless mutt. Once again, for no reason. Once again, dumb, worthless mutt. Didn't even eat. Just killed them. As always. Now, I could report on these every day. Go ahead and look them up yourself. This happens all the time. All the time. And check out the sign they had up there. Your dog can kill livestock. Please keep it on a lead. Now, if it can kill livestock, then of course it can kill a child. What are you talking? Come on, man. These are not pets. They're not family. Definitely not family. Y'all calling these things exactly the things you shouldn't. Man, oh man. And I was not able to save all the stories that were really relevant. It was a little frustrating. Another boy, this surfaced, 2-3 hours ago. 7-year-old recovering after being attacked by a pit bull. Now, I believe this is a follow-up, sort of a developing story. I try to keep up with stories as they develop as well. Mauled by pit bull. I believe I did report on this. Yeah, I remember reporting on Edinburgh. Typical day for the youngster. He was playing in a park playground one afternoon when the dog came out of nowhere and attacked. Now, I want to point out that some of the people who have followed me have relatively recently, maybe the past year, they've noticed, as well as everybody else, how often this is the narrative. This is the scene. This is what happens. This is the norm. And you hear it because you hear me saying what? The same thing over and over and over. When they say I say the same thing over and over, this is part of what they're talking about. Little do they know. Over and over, you hear some kids mind their business, not pulling on no dog's ear, not even running, not teasing. You don't ever hear nothing like that, ever. But yet, every single time you ask these so-called professionals why dogs attack kids, first thing they say is the kids be teasing them, pulling their ear, and then you never hear that in these cases. And that's part of the reason why kids are so unprepared and endanger themselves. So sometimes kids would avoid certain playgrounds if they were taught right. Sometimes there may be a dog right by a playground. You might be a home or a fence or something. They see that dog, like, that dog see us playing, jump over that fence, let me not go to that playground. You see, then the so-called experts will say, that's xenophobia. Something's wrong with you. That's a mental disorder. Backwards. Do not listen to that. Just playing on a playground, and attacked unprovoked as always. I challenge all of you, psychologists, dog experts who have put this lie out there. Prove it. Prove it as I am. Just like I'm pulling up case after case after case where there was no provocation. Case after case, these are unprovoked attacks. Please, you do the same. Show us the stories, the reports, where at first there was some pulling of ears, pulling of tail, there was teasing before the attack. So flat out, y'all straight up lying on kids, which is sick. She told the newspaper that the dog's owner had been walking around just opposite the boys. Reese said he saw him coming towards him, but at that point the dog was on the lead. Obviously the dog was far too strong and he couldn't stop him. So there you go again. Leash, worthless. Worthless. It's not all about, just keep it on a lead. Responsible dog owners keep their dogs on a lead. No. No such thing as a responsible dog owner. Okay. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Luckily, the boy leapt over the fence and got away from him. Wow. Wow. He got away. I know. Whew. Man, he'll never forget that. Yeah, I told that story where I was chased by a dog as a kid. We was walking home from school. Like, we used to walk home from school in packs, be a groups of kids walking home from school. And we came across a home. It was a real vicious dog barking nonstop behind the fence. And somehow it escaped. And we all took off running. Well, this dog focused on me. So as I was running, I could feel the heels of my foot kicking the dog in the face. So as it was chasing me, it got real close. And as I was running, I was kicking it in the face and it just gave up. But I realized I could have died. I was small. I don't even think I was through puberty yet. Very small. I could have easily or been permanently disfigured. And he just went through a similar experience. Cheryl said this is a big, scary looking dog. Quite old as well. People in the area. I don't even feel safe allowing my boys into our garden. But I really don't want them to be frightened after this. Hey, that's the environment that they created. You don't have no choice but to be aware of the threat. Yes, continue to go outdoors and enjoy the outdoors, enjoy freedom. You just have to always be with them. You have to be armed. That's the only thing we can do. Go get armed, go down to the shooting range, get comfortable shooting, firing a firearm, or if you don't, train yourself on with some weapon. But we don't have no choice right now. Until these things are gotten rid of, we have to act on the fact that they could attack us at any time. And your kids are like a magnet for dogs. Just like small animals are a magnet for these things, kids are a magnet for them. No matter what, you got to be mindful of that of all times, no matter how tough it is. Like I said, it wouldn't be this way if this was a dog-free society, or if we had one. Okay? And it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, because what investor wouldn't invest in something that they know is going to pay off? It's only a matter of time. Somebody's going to pull off that real estate. They're going to invest in that land. All right? And I'm prepared right now to move long distance. I don't care. I'll move to Seattle right now. I don't care how far away it is. I will go. I think I do believe I'm caught up in all of the. Wait a minute. We may have one more story here.
Developing story in Florida City where officials say a woman was rushed to the hospital following a dog attack.
And police say the dog became defensive after the victim tried to help his unconscious owner. And Local 10's Samir Nepsi is live now to explain exactly what happened here. Samir.
Yeah, Eden, Calvin. So we're in the 300 block of Southwest 4th Street here in Florida City where that dog attack took place. Now, according to Florida City Police, this all happened earlier in the day. We know one person was transported by air, the other by ground. Go ahead and take a look at some video captured by Sky 10 earlier today. You can see a fairly busy scene surrounding that house, several units there. Now, around 8 this morning, Florida City Police responding for a call regarding an unresponsive woman believed to have had a medical episode. Well, there was a second person in that house who was attempting to assist the unresponsive person. During that assist, the second person was attacked by a dog believed to be a pit bull belonging to the unresponsive woman. It's believed that dog became protective and then attacked. Now, we're told the dog attack resulted in severe facial injuries. With
another reason why they should not, of course, be legal. They should not be legal, and they should not be used for protection. No way, because they're too dumb to know what to protect you from.
That woman needing to be airlifted to Jackson South Trauma. The unresponsive woman transported by ground to Homestead Hospital. Back out here live again, that dog believed to be a pit bull. So we do have an update on the conditions. We're told the lady who was attacked by the dog is in serious but stable condition. As for the woman who had the medical episode, she is in stable condition. That's the latest out here in Florida City. I'm Samir Nepsi, Local 10.
Well, the woman who had the episode is lucky that she didn't get eaten up by the dog. And there's a good chance that had she remained unconscious and that person never showed up, that she would have been eaten by that dog. Okay, y'all remember all the stories that we went over where people, just Google it, people who have died inside of their home alone with their dogs. Their dogs ate them. I went over like 4 or 5 stories. If you on my channel, my original channel, Google, what was that? Dogs Are Evil. It's got a black background, right? A black dog on the front. Yeah, just type Dogs Are Evil or Evil in there in the search and it'll show up. Gruesome stuff. These things don't care. They don't love you. And if you die, they are willing to eat you. So I just don't get it, dog lovers. Dogs prove that they don't love. And that they don't have an admirable character. So what is there to like about them? I mean, I just don't get it. I don't get the craze, the obsession. Now I hear this all the time from people. I don't get the obsession. What is with the obsession? Because everything about these things, aside from what you do with them, whatever you do with them when you're alone with them, all I hear is horrible, horrible things. So, ma'am, what's this woman's name? Bronwen Dickey. If you disagree with any of my criticisms, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. Nobody's going to attack you and anybody else, because I'm always mentioning people and what they say, but you're the ones who say it. You're the one who's putting yourself out there as a professional or whatever you are. Okay, but you all are putting out misinformation. And y'all have made a business, a whole industry out of putting out misinformation. Misinformation about something that's deadly. Deadly. And it's a proven threat. More consistent, really, than they are just as consistent as gunfire, I would think. Right? Every day somebody's shot, right? Yeah, they'll move to ban guns, but not dogs. Dogs are worse than guns, if you ask me. Big shout out to everybody able to join me, and I hope to see you on the next. Big shout out to No Dogs Allowed in the super chat. And I hope to see you all on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.